good news as we see it right now. As a reminder, in addition to Peacock and the SMX Video Pass, fans can also tune in weekly on Sirius XM on Channel 85. And if you weren't able to tune in live tonight, remember you can watch back on demand the SMX Peacock Hub and internationally on SMX Video Pass in both English and Spanish. So we're going to get started here with the podium. Let's have a big round of applause for Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, and Aaron Plessinger. And Cooper Webb, you said on the podium it was a rough night for you. I want you to talk about that because it ended in fantastic fashion. But start with kind of the hardships you faced and then take us through what it means to get this win here in your house in Arlington.
Yeah, like I said, it was a tough day. Qualifying wasn't great. And then in the heat race, I got a great start and just went backwards. So just was struggling with the track a little bit and myself. But, yeah, it was good to really turn around and, I was pretty down after the heat, so it was good to just flip the switch and go be competitive in the main event. By no means did I think I would go and win, but I wanted to regroup and got a good start and put myself in a great position and rode a solid main behind Jed and, obviously got a little bit of a gift there, but we were trying to catch him there at the end and, we were close, so who knows if maybe the pressure got there, but either way, I'll take it and, man, it just feels awesome.
Well, and you say it's a bit of a gift, but you traditionally, when the track breaks down and gets tougher, you tend to step up and get even better.
No, for sure, and it was tough. That section was really tough as the main event went on, and, it was hard to get that rhythm clean each lap. So I didn't see it entirely, but, that section was really tough.
Great job. Scott,
Yarjo, Moto Now blog. Eli, this question's for you. Incredible ride coming through the pack. Really insane. What's the difference like on nights like tonight when it's really clicking for you and at A2 versus nights like Detroit, for instance?
To be honest, it's just Detroit. I had really bad arm pump, and when that happens, basically your hands are tied, behind your back, and you're hanging on for survival, and you drop multiple seconds per lap, and that's it. If you get arm pump around like lap 6 or 7, it's over. And I was struggling in that specific condition with the dirt being tackier clay, the way it was pulling down my bike. And I think I've fixed some of that. With that being said, can't blame it all on the bike because look how long I've been doing this. I should know for that situation, what's going to make me race more comfortable. So and get me out of the arm pump situation. So that was that. Specifically for this year at Detroit, that race, that's what caused, me riding around and getting lapped. And that's the difference. And tonight was just being comfortable, riding like I should, I guess.
Jace,
Gypsy Tales, Coop, we'll just go to you, mate. Congratulations, epic ride tonight. And it was an awesome podium speech from you, especially the line of getting a suite here. Because it's crazy when a guy can be so good at a stadium even when you're not feeling it. And obviously you have to pull yourself out of a hole tonight. But if you have to just brainstorm on why this place brings this out of you, do you have any kind of feelings about why this building?
I don't know. I think it's as a racer we all have our spot where we just are good at, and we're going to Eli this next week, we just gel with certain places and cities and stadiums. And for me, I always really like this dirt and how the track breaks down, and it's typically a bit tighter and just kind of fits my style. And like I said, I don't know if it was growing up racing spring nationals always in Texas, and just the people, the environment's great. So yeah, I think that's just a little bit of it is you just get those good feelings. And I mean, yeah, even on the broadcast it showed when 19 when I passed Kenny and it was the closest race ever, and I think just that alone, every time I see it, it's man, it just brings back a smile and just reminds me of hey, this is a great place and I am a bad dude. So like I said, it was much needed to pull myself out of the hole early as the day went on, but like I said, I never thought I would have won tonight, that's for sure, so I'm stoked I did.
And can you talk us through the mental process of digging yourself out of a hole on a day like today? And I think this year's is probably one of the hardest years to have a bad day because you have a bad day today and it's you are so far not even off the pace, but there's just so many people in between you. It's such a huge gap to try and bridge.
It is, and I think for me, like, it was tough because I felt really good. You know, I thought, like, I went around and I do a lap and I'm like, oh, I'm on the board, and you're not even close. So that's tough. You know, if it's normally like, hey, I made mistakes or your bike setup's off, it's a lot easier to regroup. When you're just slow, it's not easy. So, you know, like you said, it's good to have a good group behind you and a lot of people that believe in you and just pull your head out of your ass sometimes.
Jeff Beaver, Whiskey Throttle Media. This is for Cooper. In 2019, it kind of had some inklings of this season, the way I see it, that kind of started off a little rough, and now you're starting to come on. Does it feel like some of your past championship runs coming into the East and starting to get ahead of steam?
It's hard to say. You know, last weekend was really tough, so we needed a great race tonight. And, yeah, I mean, obviously winning here is huge. And I think as the points get tighter, as we always say, Daytona and headed that way is always important to be in the title fight. But this year doesn't feel like any of the other years, to be honest. I mean, I've ridden, I feel like, the best I have all year, and I don't have as many podiums or wins as I did at this point before. So it's a stacked class. The field is really, really deep, a lot of fast guys, and you have to be on your A game. And I think you've seen we've all been kind of all over a little bit. So it's an awesome feeling to get a win and to be back closer in the points and just kind of reestablish things and get some confidence moving forward. And like you said, headed east and headed to some places I really enjoy.
Cool. Dan Beaver?
For Eli, was it important to run this well this week now that you're heading to Daytona? Does that give you a little added confidence, or does it make any difference? Daytona is just your track regardless.
Well, I mean, regardless, I love Daytona. It's the favorite race for me, hands down. So this was a race I needed, even though it wasn't a win. I'll tell you that. I was really struggling with these situations before this weekend, so I feel like I'm a lot better now. It's bummed to make the mistake, early on there. It was all on me. Just overshot a triple there and tucked the front end, went over the berm. But yeah, obviously looking forward to next week.
Thank you.
Brad Gephardt.
Thanks, Brad Gephardt, Verb Moto. This one's for AP. Aaron, you seem to have more confidence and are riding better than we've ever seen you in the 450 class. Where's that coming from?
I don't know, man. I just think the bike's good, man. My body's feeling good, and I'm just having fun. I've had the most fun so far this year that I've had in a season, and yeah, it's just been good. I don't feel like it's work, and it's just everything's coming to me, and like tonight, I got lucky. I was running pretty much off the podium the whole night, and then at the end of the race, some things switched around, and I got to be on the podium. So it was a good night, and yeah, I don't know. It's just a good season. I'm having fun. I feel good. Bike's good, and yeah, I'm still feeling fresh too.
Can KTM get you a tank top so you can go suns out, guns out at the podium as well?
We're working on that. We got to get the trademark first. So,
thanks, guys.
Hey, Mitch Kendra.
Hey, Mitch Kendra from Racetracks Online. Coop, obviously you were in jet. We're kind of going back and forth. Looked like the gap was kind of similar throughout most of the race. Did you kind of have a section where you were like maybe you're going to make a last minute push at the end? Obviously you made the mistake, but did you have a section of where you're really going to try and push, last lap or last couple laps?
This is for me, he said?
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know. I mean, like I said, I put a late race charge together, and lappers can play a part, so like I was just really trying to push and get as close as I could. It was a tricky track, with the passing points because it was super, super rutted. And then the sand really kind of changed a lot, so I honestly was just trying to get close enough to maybe make a pass. I didn't really have anything planned at that point. And it's tough when you're, like tonight, we were doing really short laps, so you don't really know how many laps you have left. So I was just trying to get as close as I could at the end, and obviously it played out well for me.
Yeah, and then when you got into the lead, did you know like how close Eli and Aaron were to you? At, whenever all that's chaos as you going through the lap or CJ go down, Are you able to tell where they're at right behind you? Or?
No, I knew. Like I could see Eli coming. About halfway, I could start to see him creeping in and taking chunks out, and I was looking at the clock, going, "Man, I better get it together. He's gonna come past me." And like you said, I think it kind of brought AP a little bit closer and stuff like that. So it was tough. Like you said, there was some lappers and then like some guys down. Like one lap I missed the whole rhythm because a guy was down. So just some tricky conditions, and you want to push, but then it's easy to make a mistake. And so I was keeping track, and I knew either way, win or not, that I needed to keep those guys behind me for sure.
Nick Still.
Yeah, thank you. Nick Still, MotoOnline.com. This will be for Eli. Eli, post-race, comments for you on the broadcast was the first time we've sort of seen some fire, come out from inside of you, referencing back to, potentially the comments of being the old guy. Do those comments creep in, or is it just more frustrating for you?
Yeah, they creep in. And I've kind of just like I've heard it the whole season, and I know I'm not like there yet. And, but I don't know, maybe some people are right. I haven't won an overall yet, but one thing's for sure is I have improved and I'm getting better. So yeah, I'm ready to, put up the fight in this last half and, maybe show some of the young guys that they're still young.
We never hear the terminology from you, beast mode. Was this beast mode, or are we just getting this thing going, Eli?
What's that? Sorry.
This is the first time, we start to hear beast mode over and over again about Eli Tomac. Is this beast mode, or are we just getting this thing going?
I mean, I made passes this time. I wasn't going backwards after halfway, so it was good.
Kind of beasty. Yeah. All right. Hey, let's go to Grace.
Thank you. Grace Holbing of Speed Sport. This one is for Aaron. Aaron, aside from Glendale, you've been a top 6 guy the whole season so far, so it's not like anyone can look at that and say, oh, that's a fluke. Like, you are here week in and week out. What has that done for you mentally, just making those repetitive, top 5 results, getting on the podium a third time now? What has that changed for you mentally?
It makes me feel real good. I was really, really not happy with the way that Phoenix went. So I went to work for the last 2 weeks, and I guess it paid off pretty good. But it's a confidence booster for sure to be, the worst finish I had before Phoenix was 6th. So and then that 6th was, coming from the back of the pack, battling everybody, and not just starting up front and then going to 6th. So it's a big confidence booster, and yeah, I think helps with my starts too. And I gotta be real confident with my starts, because sometimes they're not so good. And yeah, I gotta focus a lot on those. So it just, I don't know, it does a lot for my mentality.
At this point, does it just kind of feel easier to keep that momentum going, when weekly you're having performances like this?
I think it's easier being up with these guys. I don't think it's easier as in racing them, but it's easier being around them and knowing that I belong being around them, and I can race them hard and know that they're not just coming by me and I'm falling backwards. So it just makes me feel like one of the boys.
Thank you.
Austin Rohr.
Hey, this is Austin Rohr with Swap Moto Live. This question's for Eli Tomac. Late into the race, you dropped your lap times pretty substantially. Was there something you found specifically that allowed you to do that?
I think that's around the time there was 2 really inside lines before the whoops and maybe even the bowl before that. I felt like I was really good in those 2 bowl turns, like the left and the right. So I was able to square up the turn and then get really good drive into the whoops, and then getting the right combo through them was a big deal too. Like being able to get a triple going all the way through there. I think it was triple, and some sort of balance thing at the end. But when I did that, like that, those were the better laps, and I think I caught that later on in the race there.
Thank you.
Scott Yarger, Moto Now. Aaron, this is for you. You had Hunter Lawrence on you for most of the race, kind of. Did you notice him on there, and was that distracting, kind of preventing you from racing forward to catch Webb?
I don't think it was distracting me. I think him being on me definitely kept me on my toes and made me, pick some lines that I wouldn't have picked if I was just, cruising. But I think it honestly made me ride a little bit harder and maybe keep the gap from growing that much more. But there was definitely some times I was trying to push it to get away from him that I made a few mistakes. So, it was. I don't think it messed me up at all, but I think it was definitely caused me some stress for sure.
Jeff Beaver, Whiskey Throttle Media. This question's for Aaron. One thing I want to know is when you come into these races and the crowd is just going absolutely nuts for you, whether it's opening ceremonies, the heats, you're in the podium, how does that play into your game and your mental frame of mind for the race?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me want to put on a good show for the fans. Man, when I come out for opening ceremonies and they get that loud and it gives me the chills every time. And man, it's a cool thing to see and it's a cool thing to hear when I'm riding around and man, like I said, it just gives me the chills and it makes me want to put on a good show. So I think that plays a big part into my racing.
Well, it's fitting that the Cowboy landed on the podium in Texas.
Jace, you have another follow-up?
Jace, 50 Tails. Eli, this one's for you, mate. I'm going to definitely say that you're in beast mode tonight. The inside that you were talking about before the whoops, when you made the pass on Hunter Lawrence, you could literally hear your bike in the stadium over everybody else's bike. So when you're in that mode and you hit that kind of the state that you're in, what does that feel like? Does it feel different? Obviously, like arm pump, you can kind of imagine that feeling. But as a guy that rides myself, I cannot imagine being able to do the things on a motorcycle that you're doing when you're going from basically last to the podium and to make a 450 just drown out 21 other motorcycles on a racetrack. Like, it is insane.
It's just, you find the right flow. So for whatever that is, if you have a couple of good turns, on whatever track you're riding and you have that flow, that feeling, and it's almost like things come easy and they come slower, So it's when everything's working right and you can go in the places you want to go and you got the flow. So and in that situation I can just keep pushing, the whole moto.
All right. Dan Beaver, follow-up?
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports, for Cooper. Kind of a variation on the question from Eli. When you won the Triple Crown, you seemed a little disappointed that you didn't win one of the features. Happy to win the overall, but does winning now a feature against all these guys heading into Daytona, does that change the confidence level or does that change anything at all?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it was great to win the Triple Crown, but to not win a main was a little, you just want to win, right? And so tonight to win a regular main event and in those environment and in that situation, and it felt really nice. And I've been reminded by a buddy of mine that it's been exactly almost a year since I've won a main event. So now I can tell him, hey, it's back to zero days.
Kind of a variation on the 0 days since a work injury. Sorry. Thank you.
Mitch Kendra, follow-up?
Yeah, this one's for Eli and Aaron. You guys are going back and forth in the heat race. Just talk through that battle if you guys just want to take us through both your point of views in that heat race. That was fun to watch.
Hey, I'll say that pace was hot, and I know both of our heart rates were to the moon at the end of that one. So it was fun. I mean, we were just pinning it, and we get the first tracks, around the track now with it being the first heat race. So you're just wide open, and the speed was incredible. So yeah, we were both shredding that race.
Yeah. I mean, that pace was unbelievable. I think we got down to 43-second lap time. So it was gnarly, and like he said, we were the first ones out there, so we could just give her the beans and it would stick. And yeah, I just once he got next to me, I was like, man, I don't want to let him pass me, but I don't want to I don't want to bang into him. But we had a really, really good race, and unfortunately he got by me the last lap. But it happens.
Let's finish up with Nick's. Oh, Mitch, do you have a follow up?
No, I was going to say great racing, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree. Nick Still, let's finish up with you, bud.
Awesome, thank you. This will be for Coop. Sort of a follow-up question from that as well. You guys are the first on the track for the night, the heats for you. Is that, significantly different for you guys? Do you enjoy that, or do you enjoy the track sort of having lines in it and flowing a little bit more? What's that like, for you personally?
It's different. We've done, a long time of going second. So it's definitely different. And like they just said, you literally can go as fast as you want. Like, it's pretty crazy. And then we get to our main event like 3 hours later, and it's not even the same track. So it's different. I had to get used to it. It's not my cup of tea, but it is what it is, right?
Congratulations, guys. Well done.
Yeah, I think I can speak for everyone. It's definitely our cup of tea. Let's give a big round of applause to Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, and Aaron Plessinger. Well done, gentlemen. Let's get our 250 podium up here. Get the middle seat this time, bud. Yeah, that's for the cameras. Okay, let's start here with the 250 podium. Up here, Hayden Deegan, first career SX win, fourth podium overall. McAdoo, 18th career podium in his 45th start. Tom Vial, first 250 SX class podium in his 12th start. Big round of applause for these three amazing racers. And Hayden, I was up in the booth with Justin Brayton and Cullen Park, and they're like, is he going to send it? Is he going to send it after this win? And you gave it to us. You sent it. I want to talk about that, kind of the tribute to your pops and what he did and how it feels to follow in his footsteps and now get your own Supercross win.
Yeah, definitely. Getting the dub. I was behind Austin for a while, and obviously you hate to see that. It's not anything you want to see in this sport, and it's a dangerous sport, man. Stuff like that happens often, but obviously, heels up to Austin, man. It's not good. So, but yeah, man, first win. That was exciting, and I was like, I don't know, I won, and I was like, I mean, this is a little jump. Why not ghost ride it? I was honestly a little scared. Like, if it was a triple, like, would I get stuck to the bike and, like, fly through the air or something weird? So I was like, I mean, it's a little jump. I'm going to ghost ride this thing.
It was perfectly placed. I mean, I don't think it could have gone any better. It was just the right amount, and you got it in. No one got hurt. Everyone wins on that one, so thanks for that, man. Too cool. All right, let's go to Scott.
Scott Yarjo, Moto Now blog. Hayden, after Austin's crash, you all of a sudden find yourself with a 7-second lead, cruising towards your first main event win. Is it hard to maintain the focus? Are you feeling nerves in that moment? What's going on in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, the nerves are always there the whole race, you know? It was just trying for me just to hit my marks every lap, like not make one mistake. And that's honestly, which I think this 250 class lacks, is consistency, and these guys make a lot of mistakes. So if you can be the guy to not make these mistakes, I mean, that puts you up front, right? I mean, Jet Lawrence, Came in, went to the 450 class quick. He didn't spend a lot of time here. He was consistent and up front and not making a dumb move. So, you just want to be consistent, I'd say. And the nerves were there, but, first win. I've led some races, so it wasn't too bad.
Cool. It's Chase.
Jace, Gypsy Tales. Mate, Cameron, I'm stoked for you, bro. That was great to see you back on the podium, especially after what happened last weekend. I don't want to say too much, but I heard that you're carrying some injuries into this race. So I just think you're the guy that personifies like that warrior spirit that every dude at home that rides dirt bike knows how tough this sport is and how hard it is to be a dirt bike rider. But for you, with the injuries that you're kind of carrying through, how much has it been to rebound and get back up onto the podium?
It's been great. Like you said, this is kind of a warrior sport, and all these guys are just as much of warriors as me. Like, unfortunately, I've had to show it a little more. But yeah, coming into Detroit, I was pretty behind. I missed pretty much all of December riding and a good portion of January. So I was, I had a few weeks back on the bike, and having a heat win was nice, and then being involved in that first turn pile up, I messed my knee up pretty good there too. So I kind of had two nagging things, and those were a bit frustrating the last few weeks. But luckily we had 3 weeks off, and I rode one day last week, so it was just nice to have a pretty solid, consistent day. Did a lot of laps in practice. Had a heat win, and then like Hayden talked about hitting his marks, like that was pretty much the key to this main event, because I think that I had maybe 3 moments that felt fairly significant, and like what happened to Austin, this track was gnarly, so like it can reach up and bite you, and you just really had to be locked in. So yeah, it was encouraging to have just a solid day after a pretty tough Detroit, and I'm just excited to keep building forward and building some strength back and getting some more time on the bike again.
Congrats, mate. And I got the Manscaped plugged if you need it, so just let me know.
They hit me up.
Oh, did they actually hit you up after it?
Yeah, they did, but I just...
you were pretty clean, though. Like, not that I saw any, but,
Yeah, I don't want to... It's not my brand, but I can't run from it either.
I thought you handled everything really well, man. Well done. Let's go to Jeff.
Jeff Beaver, Whiskey Throttle Media. I don't even know how to follow up after that one, but this is for Cameron. I want to touch on how you said this track could come up and bite you. You had a little bit of a moment there in the rhythm coming over that table. What played into your strategy for the rest of the race? Was it kind of back it down and play it safe?
I think, no, not back it down and play it safe. That's never helpful for me. Like I said, staying locked in is the best thing. We have to race forward. We're so used to trying our hardest every day during the week, and I think when you do start backing it down, that's when it can get even more dangerous. But yeah, that was a pretty big struggle for me, that lane in the main for some reason. I think I have some things to change up, but yeah, that I had 2 pretty big frame cases right there, and then I 50-50'd off the side of the whoops and burned up the media cables. So at that point, I just knew I needed to kind of use some alternate lines and do what I could do best consistently, because that line wasn't working for me.
All right, Dan Beaver.
For Hayden, should this put an end to any of the questions about your wrist, this performance tonight?
I mean, I'd say so. I mean, I'm on the, a little bit of the same road as McAdoo. I didn't get much of a preseason, I'm gonna be honest, but you gotta, it's in the mind. You gotta have the mental strength to push through those things. But yeah, I'd say we put an end to that thing, and we're pushing forward from there.
Nick Still.
Yeah, thank you. Nick Still, MotoOnline.com. This will be for Hayden. Hayden, going back to what you were saying a little earlier about the 250 class lacking consistency, you also referenced Jet Lawrence and his 250 career. As for you personally, what do you see your 250 career being? Is it a short career? Is it a long career? Is the eyes on 450s? What's that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't judge what you're going to do in the future exactly, but that's kind of, that's a good spectrum to watch it, how Jet went through the 250 and the 450. I mean, that's obviously kind of the dream way to do it. get your championships and go try and win on a big bike, right, on a 450. So, I mean, it's a goal. It's not I'm going to do that because nothing's obviously planned like that out. But it's a goal. You know, it's a goal to have your career play out like that. And you just got to work towards it, be smart, and find the little things that got him there.
Thank you, Hayden. Cheers.
Victoria?
Hi, this question is for Hayden Deegan. I'm Victoria Beaver, Road and Track. With the amount of high hopes and expectations that you have and your dad, Brian, have on the weekend or have on the season, how important was it to have this win after Detroit?
Yeah, definitely Detroit. Obviously, went a little south on the start, but it was my fault. I didn't get a good start. It bit me, and so I went and worked on starts and nearly hole shotted the main. Came out second, so I'd say we got the starts pretty dialed. Not 100% because we didn't hole shot, but we came around that first turn almost in first. So we got a little more work to do, but yeah, I mean starts were dialed, and although you could say it was a little gifted with Austin crashing, which again you don't want to see that. But, I mean, honestly, I was getting ready. I had that energy. I mean, I was ready to cook up a nasty battle at the end. I was waiting, and, yeah, I mean, I ended up had the better end of the stick, fortunately, in that race. So we ended up getting the dub.
And then for a follow-up, for your first Supercross win, to be able to ghost ride and pay honor and reference to your father, what did that mean for you in the moment?
I mean, yeah, I was like, I gotta do it. I mean, I've been telling a lot of people I'm gonna ghost ride it eventually. I kind of been pushing it out. I now look back at it and I was like, I should have done it at LA Coliseum. It would have been more historic. I just didn't know I won though until Duff came up to me. So I'm gonna blame that one on Duff. But yeah, we ended up getting a little ghost ride out of tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much and congrats.
Thanks.
Brad Gebhardt.
Thanks, Brad Gebhardt, Verb Moto. Let's go to Tom Bial. Tom, I know you're in a lot of pain right now, but take me through your day a little bit, how you're able to manage that, and kind of let the race come to you a little bit with a good podium ride here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy to be on the podium. I actually had kind of the same crash as Austin in the practice. I kissed a little bit the over, and then he went a little bit to the right, I went to the left, but I was pretty happy to be healthy after that crash, and I didn't have a good heat race, but I rode way better into the main event. My start wasn't that good, but I came like from 6th or something, and back to 3rd. Pretty happy. I mean, I rode consistent the old moto, and I just need a better start to be fighting up front.
Is there anything you're struggling with right now on the start specifically, or just can't get them right now?
I was like, I did 5th in the heat race, so I went 10 in the gate, and I was a little bit outside. The rut wasn't that good, so I mean, I actually had an okay start from the outside. I was next to, I think, Austin in the first corner, so I went like around 5. But I need a better heat race to get some better like gate peak for the main event is pretty important.
Thank you.
Mitch Kendra.
Hey, Mitch Kendra from RacerX Online. Hayden, obviously we've seen you progress through your rookie year. Last year you had Supercross strong Supercross season, really strong pro motocross, and obviously the SMX Championship. Did you expect this all to come so quickly? Like I think 2 years ago at this point, you're prepping to race the Spring Nationals in the B class. Like walk us through how quickly things have happened for you and how you've been able to make such quick gains, and just how that's kind of trained your trajectory. Excuse me.
Yeah, definitely. It's all a part of the plan, man. My dad has set me on a great path, and we've worked together really hard. And obviously, you guys see this. And consistency, mental. It's a lot of it's mental, grit. And I was raised like that. I was raised to have a lot of grit, no quit, and not take any crap. So that's just kind of what's built in me, and I felt like that's helped a lot with my upbringing in the rookie season. So obviously had a nice consistent rookie season, which that was honestly best case scenario for me. I was able to build a lot and honestly bring it into the Supercross season. Even though we had a little hiccup before the Supercross season, I mean, we still had so much building from last year. And then, again, we had another thing thrown at us, too, with a new bike. So that's kind of building that back up, too. I'm not, it just started on that Supercross preseason and then not getting much time on it. So continuously working on the suspension, working on the bike, getting it better with the team, and it's progressing good.
Yeah, and you mentioned your dad and obviously the path that he kind of planned out for you. Just talk about your relationship with him. You know, sometimes when guys turn to pros, the relationship with their family gets a little bit bumpy, but obviously he's been a huge support. Your whole family has been, but your dad's been right there. You know, you've been high-fiving with him and celebrating with him. He's getting the clips of you for the phone, for the YouTube channel, everything. Just talk about your relationship with him and how important that is and influential on and off the track as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think the part where some guys go wrong is thinking they're better than their dad, and you got to understand that he's your dad. You got to listen to him, and he knows, he's been through it. Especially my dad, I'll tell you, he's been through it. So he definitely has good guidance for me. And I mean, sometimes you have like different thoughts or whatever, but in the end, you ended up agreeing with him. He's usually right. So it's just you got to get along with your dad in this sport, and you'll pursue pretty far.
Congrats to the whole Deegan family.
All right, Jeff, follow up.
Jeff Beaver, Whiskey Throttle. This question's for Hayden. You talk a lot about mental toughness and how much that plays into your craft, and you're at a young age a master of it. Having Duff out after such a great rookie season, having him come back today, how much of that played into your day and just getting prepared this week knowing he was coming back?
Yeah, obviously having your program all set how it's supposed to be is obviously better, you know. I obviously had a great mechanic for the first round. He's awesome, but it was my fault in the start. That's no mechanic's fault. And but again, having Duff back in makes the program nice, back to where we should be. And now it's time to bring back the deal and start taking off some wins.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Chase.
Hayden, so I guess you're a big proponent of mental strength, and you really pride yourself on the mental side of this game. So you go back to the preseason, you get hurt, you miss a lot of the preseason, then you basically crash out of the first race. Essentially, we've not seen many dudes win a championship. It can be done, but not many guys have done it. So at any point in this process, did any doubt creep in, and what are you thinking? What process are you going through to try and eliminate that? And then on a night like this, you win the main event, the first chance you really got at it. Does it kind of just solidify I'm doing every bit of mental work I'm doing is going right?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes in your head you're like, oh, dude, maybe this championship's over. And then I walk out my door and look at my goals, and I'm like, no, it ain't. You know, we got to get back to work. And it's only the first round. I got plenty of time. And dude, after this round, I'm 7 points behind the lead. That's, if I would have got that at the first round, I would have been happy with it. To have it at the second round, 7 points behind the red plate, that's nice. I'm happy with that. We can build from that. But yeah, I mean, I have a dream and I'm chasing it, and I'm trying to get there quick.
Dan Beaver, you have a follow up?
Yes, Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. For Cameron, does this feel like a full reset? Nobody has really been perfect. Anstey's got the points lead, and Pierce Brown has back-to-back top fives. But now everything's jumbled up again with Faulkner's problem today. Do you feel like this really is the start of the season?
No, I don't really feel like it's a full reset. Like I said, and kind of Hayden just said, we're in a pretty big hole coming in. Obviously, a lot of stuff changed up again, and there was quite a few of us contenders kind of in that same position, 15th through 20th in the first race. And but again, Anstey had another solid night. He's going to be great. There's a lot of us who are going to be good. I think that, like I kind of alluded to earlier, I want to keep building and take each race for what it is, and be my best me at each race. And I think that there's going to be a good handful of us in it at the end. It's going to be an exciting season.
Thank you.
Austin Rohr.
Yeah, this one is for Hayden Deegan. So last year in Daytona, you scored your first podium. Now, looking ahead to that race and having just gotten your first win, are you looking forward to returning to that venue?
Yeah, Daytona's a sick track. That was my first podium, because I feel like that's a track we got to have that dog in you, that Tomac beast mode, you extend it around that track. And I feel like, I got that down deep in me, that little beast mode. So, I mean, it's coming out, and Daytona's a track you can kind of just like send it. So, I'm excited for Daytona. I have some good pass there, or a good pass. Only been there once. So I had a good pass there, and ready to just keep the ball rolling.
Thank you.
Brad Gephardt.
Thanks, Brad Gephardt, Verb Moto. Let's go to Hayden again on this one. You've got a huge fanfare, and obviously a lot of people behind you. Does that provide a fair bit of pressure as well? And I'm sure a lot of those people are also wondering what you're going to do with that win check.
Yeah, definitely the fans. I love them. It's a lot of the part that keeps you mentally chasing your goals. And I mean, the people that doubt you, honestly, it's like I just want to prove them wrong every weekend. And no matter what happens, prove them wrong is my favorite thing. And we continue to do it. I love the fans that support me, and the ones that don't, they keep me winning. So, again, and then it's nice to get a little win bonus. It was a little sad I didn't get a win bonus after the first round, but just get back on GOAT or whatever and start looking for some new shoes.
Killer, thanks.
All right, Nick Still.
Yeah, Nick Still, MotoOnline.com. For Hayden, can you explain to us the danger zone? What is the danger zone?
That's like the danger zone. I don't know. Danger Boy was kind of my thing growing up, and now we can. I don't know. I feel like if you're in the danger zone, like, kind of got a little taste of the Deegs Beast mode.
Some rebranding, I like it. Thanks, guys.
It's like the Magic Man.
Scott Yarjo, Moto Now blog. Hey, then another question for you. Some rumors going around this week on social media that you're thinking about jumping to the 450s next year already. Is that something that you're truly thinking about, or would you rather ideally have a chance to race 250 West first?
No, I'd go make sure I win my try and do the back-to-back title thing, right? You want to get your 250 titles before you go up to 450. I wouldn't want to rush that because obviously you guys see how stacked the field is. And to move up too early and have problems, if you move up too early, you got to be smart. And I mean, that's why I have, my great dad. He obviously is going to help me, guide me through those things as well. My parents, my mom as well. And there's guidance behind this. And I wouldn't move up that quick.
All right. Hey, all three of you battled through injuries, I believe, to get up here on the podium. Congratulations. The stoicism's incredible. Well done. Big round of applause once again. Hayden Deegan, Karen McAdoo, and Tom Vial. Thank you to our press. Thank you to our VIPs for hanging out. Appreciate you being here. Glad to have you on board. That'll wrap up our press conference for Round 7 in Arlington for the 2024 season of the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship. We'll see you back next week in Daytona Beach, Florida.